So thanks for coming out. This is our third edition of RealCap. We had our first one just about a year ago, and it's grown ever since. I'll tell you that every time we do these, I say it's a lot of work, kind of a hassle, but always good things come of it. When we did the panel in April, I met we did the conference in April. I met a number of people who I hadn't met before, who we now do business with, and I think I encourage all of you to network, to meet one another, exchange business cards, see what you're doing, and find ways that you can improve your business by collectively rather than doing it individually. I'll tell you an extreme example. Last Wednesday night, I flew to Miami for the ABS conference, and I made my plane, but I was a little bit late. My luggage didn't make it. I got to Miami. It was about 7 o'clock, and they said, hey, your luggage probably won't be here till midnight. You can either drive from Fort Lauderdale to Miami and come back, or hopefully we'll get it to you in the morning. So I like to just stay in the airport. And all this time I'm saying, ugh, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I keep going to these conferences and traveling? It's a lot of travel, a lot of work to do in the office. But nevertheless, I stayed at the airport for 5.5 hours, got my luggage, drove in the pouring rain to Miami, and I'd stayed at a hotel about 15 minutes, being cheap, not staying at the conference hotel. I found a cheaper one that was about 15 minutes away. Now the problem is 15 minutes, the next day I awoke just pouring with rain, so that 15 minutes turned into an hour. So I'm flooded streets in Miami trying to get to this conference. So it's like a marathon in this 12-hour period to get to this conference. Finally get there. First thing, I had a meeting. I was about 45 minutes late, but the gentleman, his associate, is actually here today. We had to graciously spend some time, and we had actually a very positive meeting. As a result of that, a couple of transactions are already moving forward. Throughout the day, I had about 7 more meetings. And this one day of face-to-face with people, many people who I regularly do business with on the phone and by email, just getting face-to-face in front of them, tremendous value, triggers ideas, triggers thoughts. What are you doing? The casual conversation which comes out of these events is extraordinarily valuable. And I think a lot of people in this room, the first time I ever met you was at one of these conferences. So again, I encourage you to learn from these panels, because there's 2 things you're going to come out of here with. One is the education that you get from the panelists, and 2 is the contacts that you're going to get from this room. So I thank you all for coming out, and hopefully it wasn't a marathon to get here, but I hope it was easy, and I hope you learn a lot. I want to introduce David Drake. David kind of got me hooked on these conferences. I went to one of his conferences a year and a half ago in Laguna Beach, and I wrote an article about it in Huffington Post, and then he contacted me and said, hey, you should help do some of my conferences in Chicago, and so I have him to blame, but I also have him to thank, because they've been very helpful, and David, I'd like you to come up and share a couple of words. We can all give him a hand.
Thank you. Thank you, George. I usually haven't been going to my own events for quite a while. My name is David Drake. I'm an owner of the Soho Loft. We've been involved in crowdfunding from the get-go, having organized the first 3 meetings. Well, the first meeting with SEC, the Crowdfunding Association. I have a family office. Most of our investments today, my investments are $50 to $200 million. So we'd like to do the equity and the mezzanine capital stack for investment. So grab me later if you guys have interesting deals, a little larger that we can look at. A lot of our capital is from abroad. A lot of Chinese capital, a lot of European capital, also a lot of family offices here in the US. I fell into crowdfunding by chance in 2011. I was traveling around the world, meeting with family offices, working with Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, and I decided, why don't I do a little get-together, try to get these family offices in the same room. After the first event in mid-2011, I realized right away that, that's not going to work. They don't like to mingle with other people. They like to keep to themselves. But suddenly, everybody, we started speaking at the events 2-3 times a month. In mid-2011, we're talking about the Jobs Act, the Jumpstart Business Startup Act. Well, it didn't exist yet because it consists of 7 underlying laws. It was created March 8th, 2012 by the House voting on it. And at that point, within 10 days, I made a phone call to 2 other groups to start the crowdfunding association. I figured, you know, we had Patrick McHenry, who was behind the crowdfunding law in January 2012. It turned 50 people in New York. And I kind of like fell into like, why not? Why not, you know, dig into crowdfunding because nobody's really paying attention to them. They don't have the money, they don't necessarily have the deals. They keep flying to my events on the West Coast and the East Coast. And I felt like, well, it was kind of easy for me to start writing about it, being involved, pushing it as a topic on my conferences. Nobody else was doing it. There was one conference in 2011 and we've had 10 of them. We had congressional witnesses every other week coming in, talking about Reg A, Reg D, the different laws, of the whole Jobs Act, which was created. And here we are, 4 years later. I've been writing for Wall Street Journal, Huffington Post, Forbes, about this topic, maybe 6, 7 articles the last 4 years. I've covered also the laws in other countries, both UK Parliament and Middle East, Asia. And I'm fascinated about the topic. We still haven't jumped into crowdfunding ourselves. So I'm more of a, you know, speaker on the topic and a writer on the topic. And we got involved with maybe a couple hundred events a year, early stage investments, family offices, institutional events across the world. And crowdfunding, of course, you know, is a legacy inheritance of mine that was there in the early days. And I've seen how it's growing. And I made a decision 2 years ago just to focus on one space, which would be real estate. I figured, okay, we got all these crowdfunding platforms in 2012. There was about 200 or 300 in January 2012, across the board, donation rewards. And then suddenly, by end of 2012, the technology came into place as a white label, and you had 2,000 almost. So I decided 2 years ago to get into real estate and cover that. So one of our publications is called Time Realty News. And I want you guys to know about Time Realty News because it's the only publication in the world today online that covers only online syndication and crowdfunding platforms in real estate. You might find articles here and there on the platforms, but we're the only one just focused on that. We just finished a 2015 report on the top 10 to show everybody, you know, what are their fees in the top 10? How are they, what the nuances and the differences between the different platforms? Can you do this with a broker dealer? Can you do it without a broker dealer? Scott Purcell will talk about this later on today, that you can do it with or without a broker dealer. How does it apply for your own business? You know, because everybody here has a strategy, or they're looking to create a strategy on how can they leverage this new phenomenon. To me, crowdfunding, I'm coming up with a book called Crowdfunding is like a spice. Not that it's spicy, but the acronym SPICE stands for 2 more people online make an investment for a service, product, project, investment, which is what you hear, cause, or experience. So that's simple. You know, SPICE, 2 more people online investing towards something like that. You can see some of the leading platforms in North America speaking today. And I'm going to try to translate on the nuances between the platforms because there's really not a marketplace yet. And our publication wants to create that marketplace. So we're inviting people to guest contribute. Anybody who wants to guest contribute, we get great editors in-house in our media companies they're invested in. So Aloft is one of them, and then we have several publications. So if you want to do that, just come up to me or just send me an article about something you think is important so we can all collaborate and create more of an awareness. We are tracking 250 crowdfunding platforms in real estate around the world. Online will only show 150. And some of them don't want to be known. Some of them might never launch. And you know, I think there's going to be momentum in the space that you guys are in, which is also in the hard money lending space. And some of the platforms like Patch of Land and other PA will talk about later have done really, really well. You know, they're doing around $11 million a month in deal flow. But, you know, you never know. There might be another platform that's popping up out of the blue doing 15 million. Actually, there is one. I'm actually writing an article. It'll come out on Huffington Post next week, a month. So it is about to explode, and some of the platforms have really taken off. And you can see in 2016 that this is going to take off quickly because some of the technologies, SEC and FINRA compliant, allows you now to automate the process. Most of my work today is focused on writing and my own real estate deals. And I'm glad to see so many people in the space here. What I usually like to do is ask, who's done a crowdfunding campaign here in real estate? Besides people having, okay, go ahead, raise your hand.
No.
All right, so we got 6 people. Who's thinking about doing it? Hold your hands up. Everybody else look around. Okay, so these are the guys you guys want to talk to. Quite a few, like almost 35%. Who's thinking about doing a platform of their own?
Come on.
Anybody?
Everyone really wants to do it.
I got 2 of them. Yeah. There's not that many players in the space, and they're still having challenge. They're still being hammering out how to deal with automation. But hopefully, I'll be able to tell you the nuances between the different platforms, the nuances of what's happening in the marketplace, and the nuances between the technology that's available. Because right now, what I'm finding from a lot of platforms is, they know what they know really well, and until recently, they don't really know what other people are doing because they're running 100 miles an hour. They got to deploy capital, hire people, and find the deals. Whoops, I'll fall over my everything. That's it. Thank you for the time and enjoy it today. Feel free to ask any questions to anybody on the panel.
Real estate crowdfunding, I stumbled on Realty Mogul a couple years ago online, and I was fascinated. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought it was illegal, and and actually it may be, but sorry. But it was really intriguing to be raising. Historically, I'd raised money. I've done real estate deals for the last 25 years. The last several years, I've been working on distressed mortgages, and to raise money, there's always a need for capital for every project, and oftentimes people have their friends, their family, maybe some lenders or capital providers that they've gone to on a recurring basis. Now, the challenge is always, how do you find new people to add to that network? And real estate crowdfunding, putting up a platform and somehow getting people to find it, and then having all your information on there, looking at it and saying, I want to invest. The most amazing thing to me today is when people, and this happens on a regular basis, investors will go onto our platform, look at the deal, invest. They can input their information, generate documents, electronically sign the documents, and initiate an ACH from their bank account, all online within a handful of minutes without ever talking to us. Now, still, people do call us, email us with questions and whatnot, but a lot of people just make the investment, and that is remarkable. I think it's going to increase, and I think the more legitimate, the more platforms there are, the more success stories that there are, people get more and more comfortable with this tool to invest in a very transparent, efficient manner. Now, at the same time we've been raising money online, we see a large opportunity, and just to share what we do, it's a little bit different than raising money for real estate crowdfunding for real estate transactions, is that we raise money to buy distressed mortgages from banks at discounts, and then we try to work those out with families whose loans we now own. If they're not paying, maybe we can get them to modify. If they don't want to stay, we can offer them cash for deed in lieu, and we always need new capital. So we have gone to this year has been really focused on trying to raise capital from institutional providers, and I really thought it would be much easier. I thought had raised a lot of money by now, and we have raised, starting in January, we raised our first institutional capital in July, and that was a modest initial investment, and we're still negotiating with a number of other capital providers. And what's fascinating and frustrating to me is the fact that we're raising money online with individual investors in an extremely efficient manner, yet when we work with the institutional investors, it's extremely inefficient. We're having to, oftentimes, they don't look at stuff on the platform typically. They want us to send everything to them, maybe in a Dropbox or by email. Term sheets go back and forth. We fly to New York, have meetings, all worthwhile, but it seems like that's another area which hopefully will become more efficient in time, and maybe some of the institutions. You see it already happening with Prosper and Lending Club, where some of those loans are selling within seconds or even minutes. But I think for a lot of real estate entrepreneurs to raise institutional capital is still inefficient, and I think real estate crowdfunding, some of the platforms are now doing larger deals. Congratulations, Patchaland. Did you do a $15 million deal? Did that close? No. Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, sorry for putting that spot.
Thank you.
Maybe give me, yeah, exactly. It's not funded yet. Nevertheless, here, what's your biggest deal, real quick?
Platform yet. What's that?
What's your biggest deal yet?
Our biggest deal was about a $3.6 million hotel, actually, and that was our foray into commercial.
Okay. Congratulations. Jordan, you're in. No, that's good. 3.6, 15, it's close. Jordan?
We have a $41 million development project where we're raising just 5.2.
Okay, just 5.2. A year ago, yeah, 5.2 is considerable amount of money. So these are
That's going to be a combination of institutional and crowdfunding capital. It's a big one.
okay. Is the institutional coming through you, or is it coming through other?
It's coming through us and the sponsor. And
Okay. But this mix of money is coming from different sources. I think it's fascinating, and that's what hopefully we'll all be able to make it more and more efficient over time. And I'll share one more thing. When I grew up in Los Angeles, and my father was, he practiced Tai Chi, and what he would do, we'd go to the beach, and he was from Argentina, so we'd go to the beach when I was a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, and he, early 70s, from Argentina, and it was not uncommon for him to wear a Speedo to the beach, and which would now be a little uncomfortable. And he would do Tai Chi, and at Tai Chi, I imagine most of you are familiar, but it's a series of movements that he would do for hours on end. And he seemed at peace, and we just kind of pretended like we didn't know him. But one of the teachings of Tai Chi is to strive for the impossible, not to be satisfied with the status quo, and to always look at something and say how people, if someone says it's impossible or can't be done, this is too difficult, it's a waste of time, it's going nowhere. Somehow I got this thing from my father where that's the challenge, and the reward is sometimes monetary, but sometimes just figuring out how to do something and get it done, especially when people say it's impossible. That makes it even funner. And throughout my life, for better or for worse, I've always tried to do that. And many a time, when a deal comes too easy, it's not so fun. You can make a lot of money, it's an easy deal. It's not so fun. You make a hard deal, and you could make a lot of money, you could make no money, you could lose all your money, which actually I've done probably all three of those. That's fun. And so I encourage you all today, hopefully you'll learn some tools to maybe strive for the impossible. Whatever you're thinking you could do, think about what you think you can't do. And maybe some of the tools, some of the lessons, some of the contacts you meet in this room, maybe they'll be able to help you strive for the impossible. And I think I congratulate all the entrepreneurs in here who've already taken advantage of this space and maybe have taken some of those steps, and I think there's a lot more steps to take. So enjoy the day.